Hello and welcome to a special Sunday Live on my YouTube channel. This is really a special live stream because I haven't really gone live in quite a while. But this is a live stream really to say thank you to everyone for helping me reach the milestone of 2,000 subscribers. And I really just want to say how much I appreciate that, how much I appreciate the film community here on YouTube. And so this may be a short video. GA, hello. I'm going to answer some questions and happy to answer some questions in the chat as well. And I'll probably go back and forth a little bit, show some physical media. But again, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support. I'm hoping that there's many more good things to come this year and next on the channel. And also let me know too in the comments if there's a special video that you'd like to see. For example, more Q&A videos, or like this video today is a live Q&A video, or if there's other things that you want to see, let me know too. I know I do haul videos. I'm doing some film reviews. I'll talk a little bit today about my viewing habits and answer any questions on that. But I'm happy to answer any question today within limits, of course. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth between the chat here. My wife is here. My microphone's hitting my beard, so I apologize for that. I'll try to hold it out occasionally so it doesn't hit my beard all the time. Thanks for that. And the other thing I want to say too is I want to say thanks to my wife also, because she does all the amazing editing on the channel. We both put together the content and talk a lot about content, but she does an amazing job editing, and I really want to thank her for that because it's just amazing, what she does too. So I'm usually the one answering comments and managing the channel, and then she's doing a lot of the editing too. So we hope to get a little bit more creative also with some of the editing and some of the videos that we put up. So Maddie, hello. Thank you so much. Long time no chat. Congrats on the 2K. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. GA, yes. Not Alive for 2001. One of my favorite movies, by the way, too. And I think I saw it within the last few months. I really enjoyed it. James, hello. Thank you so much. And congratulations to you as well on your 2K. I was part of your 2K live stream. And then we did a live stream last week, too, to talk about the Criterion sale, which I've got some Criterion titles here today, too. So I can talk a little bit more about that. Abu says thanks or congrats on the 2K. Really appreciate it. What I'm going to do here is, thanks again, James, too, is I'm going to, I've been doing these Q&A videos that I do once a month. And again, let me know if you would like to see more of those. It's a recorded video, but I thought for this one, I saved the questions from the May video so that I could talk about them here. So I'm just going to answer a couple of those now, and then I'll go back to the chat. But certainly if you have any other questions, let me know. This video may be a little shorter, but I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as I can. The first question that's from me, and what I do is I print these out. I guess not a lot of people use printers anymore, but this is one thing I do when I have the questions, just to print them out to have them here. This one comes from Robert. You're always very positive, and I love that, but is there a movie from your past that has made you angry or frustrated, or maybe something you refuse to watch? I gave this a lot of thought too. I really, I'm pretty much open to all movies and TV shows for the most part, but I would say that probably something I would not be interested in maybe is graphic horror. I just don't tend to watch a lot of those types of movies. I do like horror movies, but I pretty much stay away from those, I guess, unless there's one you can recommend. I really, these movies don't particularly make me angry or frustrated. If you like those kind of movies, great. I just I don't seem to connect to those movies at all. So refusing to watch something, there may be a couple things I wouldn't watch. There are some movies that I've been sort of frustrated over the years that I'm not able to connect to. And one of those that I just looked at on my shelf this morning is Gone with the Wind. And I know that's probably a lot of people's favorite movie, but I just, for whatever reason, every time I start it, I can't seem to get into it. So, there may be many of us, I think, have movies that we can't necessarily get into, or maybe we're not in the mood for. I know I've talked about this on the channel before a lot too, but I am really, when I watch movies or TV shows, I really need to be in the mood for things. And so Sometimes if I'll put something on, I may not be in the mood for it. I will say one of the things I've been in the mood for lately, for some reason, is I'm watching a lot of Blake Edwards movies. And so I've been rewatching the Pink Panther movies and really enjoying those, as well as some of his other films. Really like Blake Edwards as a creator, as a director. Of course, married to Julie Andrews for many years too. But the Pink Panther, I've been through. There's 6 movies on this particular set. These are DVDs, but the DVDs look amazing. I know there's a Blu-ray set on this as well, but the DVDs really look good. They really hold up on these. And I've watched so far the Pink Panther from 1964, the original one. The Pink Panther. I'm sorry. The next one is A Shot in the Dark, and from 1964, I guess. Yeah, both from 1964. And The Return of the Pink Panther, which I just watched last night. I have to say, I really liked A Shot in the Dark. I hadn't seen that in many years, so I really enjoyed that. So with this, I guess tonight it's going to be The Pink Panther Strikes Again from 1976, and then I've got a couple more to watch on here. But really enjoy this, and also really enjoy, I will probably make a video talking about Blake Edwards at some point, because I really like his other films, like That's Life, which you can't really get a DVD copy of, or at least an inexpensive copy of it. And so, but I would love to have that in my collection. That's Life with Jack Lemmon and Julie Andrews. And also, he also did a movie called SOB, which I like, which is on Blu-ray from Warner Archive. And yeah, Shot in the Dark. Third act always drags for me but the final scene, Tomorrow's Another Day, is Grant. Agree there. Shot in the Dark, yeah, is my favorite entry from GA. Yeah, I would, right now it is anyway. I just feel like I really connected to it this time. And again, I haven't seen it in a long time. So, but anyway, this particular set is great. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up, and I think it's still available on Amazon, or it's on Amazon. That's where I picked it up for about $40 or something. So, but it's nice to be able to visit these movies. I can't say that I'd always be in the mood for Pink Panther movies, but I'm really enjoying this. I also just finished watching 11 seasons of MASH, which I started all the way through. And again, I haven't seen this in a long time. And my wife and I decided to watch it. So we would just watch 1 or 2 episodes a day. And we really enjoyed it. I think the writing really held up. It's an amazing show, amazing acting. Many episodes directed by the cast members also. Alan Alda, of course. So we really like this. And, you know, this takes up a lot of time too. This takes me away from film watching in many cases. And so, but I really highly recommend the series. I know there's a couple sets on out there on this, and this is DVD. Again, we'd love to see Blu-rays on all of these, but I think there's a smaller set, and then I have these individual seasons. So I'm going to get back to the questions a little bit too. And if you have any questions in the chat, happy to answer those. Again, this might be a little bit of a shorter video because it's just more of, like I said, a sincere thanks to all the viewers of the channel. I really appreciate that. The next one is from Dan, who always leaves me a question, which I really appreciate. Do you have a favorite decade for cinema? And I think you probably know the answer to this one if you're in the chat and you know me. I go back and forth a lot on this a lot, but I think mine would be the 50s. There was a slew of great studio films, campy sci-fi, and some remarkable foreign films. But the question is, do I have a favorite decade for cinema? And right now, or maybe always, it's the 70s. I just love the 70s, but it's, you know, that's when I grew up. And so, so I really enjoy, 70s films, crime drama. French Connection is one of my favorite films from the 70s. A lot of my favorite directors come out of the 70s as well. So that's the answer to that one. The next one is from Darren. My question, 2-part. Are you retired, and how many hours of movie watching do you spend in a week? I'm not retired. I work a full-time job, and I'm probably pretty close to being retired, but at this point I'm not. So how many hours of movie watching do you spend in a week? I mentioned I watch, TV shows. I'm watching streaming services as well. So balancing all that and juggling all that is a challenge. I'm also watching Westworld right now on HBO Max, which is really good. And just recently kind of getting back into that show. But I would say I was trying to think this morning how many hours of of movies or TV a week. In the case of like these Pink Panther movies, I'm watching a movie a day at least, so that's a couple hours right there. But I would say between 5 and 20 hours a week. Sometimes if I really get into movies, I will watch a lot more than I do. But again, there's only so many hours in a day as well. So sometimes I don't often have a chance to see everything I'd like to see. Maddie was saying, I waver between the 70s and 80s. Yeah, lots of great movies in the 80s as well. I mean, so many great movies in both of those decades. But also, I mean, I also have a great appreciation for film in general. And so I can go back to the 40s, the 20s, and find something there that I really enjoy and connect with. Lately, I'm having a little bit of a challenge connecting with recent films, although I'm trying to watch as many as I can. But one of the recent films I can talk about that I really liked a lot, and I think James talked about this on his channel, is this, which is a Criterion release. And I can't say enough great things about it. It was a first-time watch for me. It was on Hulu. I didn't know there was a Criterion release at the time, but this would be The Worst Person in the World. This is the Criterion release, and I know it came out maybe a little while ago. And there's the back of that one as well. Sorry for the glare here too, but you can see some of the extra features there. This is an amazing movie. I really enjoyed it a lot. It's really a kind of a novelistic. This is what it says in the back, a novelistic film, which I totally agree with. An emotionally intricate and exhilarating character study of a woman entering her 30s, which I think pretty much sums the movie up. But I really loved it a lot. I thought it was amazing, and it's really the best thing I've seen. This movie is from 2021, and it's the best thing I've seen in quite a while. So I highly recommend this. And if you're participating in the Criterion sale, this is on sale, 50% off. So, and I have a few more Criterion titles that I'll show here later on. GA was also saying, yeah, these are some of my very favorite directors, GA, which I probably talked about, which you probably already know, but Coppola, Spielberg, De Palma, Scorsese, Friedkin, Ashby, Hal Ashby. I regularly go back to Hal Ashby, and I have a documentary about him. I've talked about this on the channel before too, but I watch a lot of director documentaries, a lot of artist documentaries as well, and that's one that I go back to quite a bit. There's a physical media release of that too, and it's called Hal. And GA, I know you were asking about who directed the movie, and I'm probably going to mispronounce it here, but I'll give it a try. Joachim Trier. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that too much, but that's the director. A really, really great, really amazing. I just really liked it. But again, it's a quiet film. May not be for everyone. It also has subtitles, and so I know many people don't like subtitles. I don't have an issue with it, but I really love that particular film. 3 questions. Let's see if I can answer these. Abu says, what are some of your favorite European cinema pieces? What are some Criterion releases or general 4K releases from others that you're excited about for this year? And what are your hobbies? My hobbies are movies at this point, but I also play the guitar too. So that's, I guess you can count that as a hobby. But I pretty much, if I'm not working, I'm watching movies, watching TV shows, spending time with my wife, and just enjoying those things. And she likes to read a lot, and I like to watch movies. So it's kind of a good combination there sometimes. What are some of your favorite European cinema pieces? I would have to say that I'm a huge Ingmar Bergman fan, which I've talked about before on the channel. And one of my favorite collections is that Ingmar Bergman box set from Criterion. I really love that. I really really connect with his movies. So hopefully that qualifies in that for that question. But that's what came to mind right away. I'm a fan of many filmmakers, but that's just the first one that came up for me. What are some Criterion releases or general 4K releases from others that you're excited about for this year? I did a video a few days ago about some films that were at the top of my list from the Criterion collection during the sale, and of course the sale is going on all month, so I'll probably place 1 or 2 more orders. But one of the ones I was looking forward to that came out is The Flight of the Phoenix, which I just recently picked up as well. It's not in that haul video, but I forgot about this one and ended up picking it up off Amazon because it was 50% off there too, right? Amazon does a lot of great price matching, and so I was happy to pick this one up. This is really cool too, because it's got this little paper airplane in there as kind of a souvenir in the movie or in the box. But I'm really looking forward to seeing this again. I saw it many years ago, and I'm really interested in seeing it again. I also wanted to talk a little bit about The Last Waltz, which I did another video talking about how I was going to upgrade it. The Last Waltz is one of the movies that is one of my first DVDs that I ever picked up. And this version of it, this is the 4K Blu-ray combo. And this is amazing. And again, this is on I haven't opened this up, but I've seen it also it's on the Criterion channel, I believe, too. So I still need to open this up and look at extra features on it. But I'm happy that I picked it up. There's the back of that one with a ton of glare. But movie from 1978, Scorsese, of course, one of my favorite directors. But if you haven't picked this up or you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend it. This is one of the ones that was at the top of my list for the Criterion sale. Thanks for all the questions too, by the way, in the chat. I really do appreciate it. There's a lot of great ones coming up. Steve, hello. What is your favorite James Caan film that isn't The Godfather? It's so sad to hear the passing of James Caan as well. I was just a huge fan, but I love The Gambler, and I'm also a big fan of Thief, which is a Michael Mann movie that has a Criterion release also. So really huge fan of James Caan. What an amazing career that he had. And it's really sad that he's gone. Dan, hello. Thoughts on Iranian cinema? Again, I'm not an expert in Iranian cinema, but I will say I love Abbas Kiarostami. I think he's an amazing director, and I love most, if not all, of his movies, including 24 Frames and Taste of Cherry and so many others. I think he's a brilliant filmmaker. I immediately connect with his movies. I love listening to him talk. I've seen some of the extra features of just interviews with him, and I really, really like those particular movies. And I can't really explain why. It's just, for Taste of Cherry as an example, to me, it's a very meditative film. Every time I watch it, I get something new out of the movie. That's one of the ones that's, again, one of my early favorites. And I was watching it again recently, and I was really getting a lot more out of it than I had in the past. And so I highly recommend Abbas Kiarostami, one of my favorites there. Thief, of course. Thief. Yes, what an amazing movie that is. Michael Mann, of course, too. I'm a big fan of Michael Mann, and I know that there's a version of Heat coming out on 4K, which I'm looking forward to. I bought Heat so many times over the years, I can't imagine it. Abu says Bergman's a great pick, really intimate director, really a poetic director as well. When I watch Bergman movies now, I really think he's speaking directly to me, and it's in a very poetic language, and I really enjoy that. I mean, he's an amazing writer. Of course, he was going back and forth between doing theater pieces and film at the at the height of his career, and just absolutely love those films. The Last Waltz is amazing. If you love music, I love how Scorsese in The Last Waltz kind of goes back and forth between talking with members of the band. It's really about the band's last concert, which is kind of a star-studded show that they did. And I love that Scorsese did a couple of songs on a soundstage as well as, filmed the live performances. But if you love live music and you love musicians and Scorsese, you're going to love The Last Waltz for sure. GA, I saw Caan in Lady in a Cage. I haven't seen that movie, but I'm glad you recommended it. I want to say too, I just love the film community on YouTube. I'm so appreciative of everyone that's involved in film on YouTube, because I get so many great suggestions and I've learned so much. And so that's really all comes from everyone watching this channel. And so that I appreciate, and that also I wanted to say thank you for, because it means a lot to me. And I get to learn there's so much I don't know. And so I just love learning from those things. So Lady in the Cage goes on my list, GA. I really appreciate your suggestions, everyone's suggestions. Do you collect any imprint or umbrella titles? Got a bunch from Deep Discount for super cheap. Two Drive and Deliriums, Dead Zone, Day of Heaven, Brotherhood of Satan, Drugstore Cowboy, Straight Story. Of course, I love Straight Story Lynch. I'm such a big fan of David Lynch. I'm glad you mentioned, Maddie, that you can get some from deep discount, because I think the reason I've stayed away from imprint or umbrella titles, as much as I love the movies that you just mentioned and so many others, is the price. So I've stayed away, but I'm glad to know that deep discount has some of these particular titles, because I love to collect more of them. And Straight Story, I still have a DVD of, but it's one of my favorite Lynch movies. And I'll talk about Lynch in a minute here. Ken from Mid-Level Media, thanks so much for joining today, and thanks for the congratulations. I absolutely love your channel. I was so pleased to be part of the live stream with you last week. If you haven't checked out Ken's channel, go over to Mid-Level Media right now and subscribe to his channel, because it is so amazing. He does so many videos a week. I really can't keep up with Ken, because he's doing so many things and so many great new releases and videos of all kinds. I was just watching Ken's video where he went to Barnes & Noble too, because there's a big Criterion sale. So thanks so much, Ken. And you also say, what are my 3 favorite horror films from the 80s? I'm probably not going to get the years right on these two, but I can tell you some of my favorite movies. It's probably going to be something in the Halloween franchise, I would say, is probably a movie that I would like from the 80s. And I'm trying to think of other movies that I like from the 80s. Of course, I like the original Halloween, but I think that's 1978. But there are a lot of films that I enjoy from the 80s. I mean, I mentioned earlier that my favorite decade right now, anyway, is the 70s. And so the 80s is certainly right up there. But I'm sort of blanking on other movies that I like from the 80s. Maybe if you can suggest a few, I will probably like them, because I like horror movies from the 70s and the 80s, but I can't think of any off the top of my head, other than Halloween franchise. Probably something Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, one of those movies too. I love those franchises. But I have a kind of, I guess, a medium-sized horror collection, and so I'm always really discovering new horror movies. And I love Halloween. I just love that time of year. I also like what I've called in the past kind of The Fly. Thanks. My wife's on here to remind me things I may forget, but The Fly, yes, of course, one of my favorites. I'm just not remembering the year, but I love Halloween, and I was talking about this last year, but Poltergeist, yes. I'm gonna thanks for reminding me the ones I like. Poltergeist, I forgot about Poltergeist. Again, I didn't want to get the year wrong there, but those are some great films. But my wife and I love to watch horror films. We also like to watch what I call like cozy horror movies. So there's certain things like I'm thinking about the Transylvania series, some of the old, the animated, or not old, but the animated Halloween movies, or things like Hocus Pocus, or things that are kind of lighter entertainment, but it's just sort of cozy around the Halloween season. Ken, yeah, Halloween 2, agreed. So that's the one. Yeah. I will watch Halloween every single year, maybe multiple times a year during the Halloween season. Lately, I've been trying to get into more older horror, like Universal horror, trying to pick a different movie to watch every year. Last year, I think it was The Invisible Man from Universal. Invisible Man, yeah, Frankenstein, Hammer horror. I love all those things. My wife knows better than I what I really like. I can't remember it. Anyway, those are some of the ones I enjoy here. The last question I have, and again, I'm reading some questions that I have from my last Q&A, but let me know certainly in the comments if you like a monthly Q&A video, or, is there anything in particular that you'd like to see on the channel? I love suggestions. I love to try new things too. So if you have anything you're interested in, let me know in the comments, or if you're watching this later too, but certainly let me know in the chat too if you'd like to see more of a certain kind of video. But the last question I hear from the May Q&A is from Real Reviews. My question for next time is, do you prefer 4K or Blu-ray? Blu-ray, I would say Blu-ray in general, but it really depends on the price. So for example, because this one was a 4K Blu-ray combo, and I don't think they had the Blu-ray in my Barnes & Noble, but because of the price, it's 50% off. So I decided to go with the 4K, right? So if the 4K is a good price, I will definitely pick that up over the Blu-ray, especially if it's a 4K Blu-ray digital combo. I should say, as much as I'm a physical media collector, I also have many streaming services too. So just to give me lots of options. So I think currently I have Netflix, the Criterion channel, which again, I highly recommend. I use the Criterion channel a lot also for just learning about new movies or movies that I know I'm going to want to collect on physical media, but the Criterion channel is a great place to preview that. I also have Amazon Prime, so I watch a lot of movies on there. Disney Plus, I believe, and a couple of other ones. Ken, again, great question here. I do collect Arrow and Shout Factory as well, right? From that live video, I had a small Arrow collection, but I did pick up True Romance and American Werewolf in London and one other one that I can't think of right now from that video that, from last week where we were talking about things. And Barnes & Noble now also doing a 50% off Arrow sale too. So I was really surprised to see lots of Arrow titles in my particular Barnes & Noble, on a stand, which I rarely see. Sometimes the Arrow titles are mixed in with other titles, and I was able to pick up some great things. So I greatly expanded my Arrow collection at this last 50% off sale. But I've ordered from many different places. I love Kino Lorber also, and I regularly look at their sales. They're doing a summer sale right now too, so I regularly pick up titles from there. Also, Warner Archive. I love Warner Archive. They used to have their own storefront, but now the storefront's on Amazon, and I regularly pick up Warner Archive titles. I just love the fact that they're still out there. It was great when they had their own storefront, and they were doing like a 4 for $44 sale every couple of months. So it was great to pick up some titles there, but they're pretty affordably priced at this point. And Ken, I totally agree with you too. Kino has some great sales. It seems like they're always doing a sale, which is cool too. Every time I go on their site, even if they're not doing a summer sale, many things are discounted. Again, highly recommend it as well. And Shout Factory, I have some titles. Actually, I believe that I was showing this earlier, but I was kind of surprised to see, but this particular Pink Panther set is a Shout Factory release too. And the DVDs look great on this. So when I was interested in the Pink Panther a few months ago, before I picked this up, I was really interested in the Blu-ray. There's a Blu-ray set on there, which is amazing, but this is the Shout Factory set, and the DVDs look great. So I'm just happy that I have this and that I can watch these movies, because it's really hard to find them sometimes. Okay, Maddie knows that I love Grateful Dead and Phish. And so this is going to be a tough one. Pick an essential Phish or Grateful Dead DVD to check out. I do like the, what was I looking at recently here? I'll go with the Grateful Dead, because I'm a big fan of the 70s. I know you're not going to be surprised at this, but I love the Grateful Dead Europe shows. I think Europe 72 probably is the one that comes to mind. But I have a lot of the physical media for that, the CDs. I have a lot of the Dick's Picks, and of course I have Spotify too, so I can really get into that when I can. For DVDs, I'm just going to go for Phish. There's a Live in Vegas DVD that I used to watch over and over again years ago, so I'm going to go with that one. But there's so many that that come out. So, but I'm a big fan. I've been to see. I have not been to see the Grateful Dead, but I've been to see. I've been to a lot of couch tour shows for Phish. Let's put it that way. And of course, I've seen them at Madison Square Garden too, which is a lot of fun. Anyway, that's probably, Maddie brings up, my favorite band at this point is Phish, and I've seen them a lot. And I'm excited because, as you know, Maddie, the summer tour kicks off on Thursday, but it will be on the couch for me. My wife was saying too, Between Me and My Mind is a great film, and we bought a copy of that digitally when it came out, but it's out in a couple of other places. So Maddie says, yeah. My wife and I saw it in the theater. We went to see it in the theater too, and then we picked up the digital copy. Totally agree. We watch that any chance we get, right? So, couch tour. Couch tour is fun. I don't really get out as much anymore, so it's nice to be able to have a way to enjoy watching a show, just participating in a show if I'm at home. So yeah, there's still always that possibility. I have to say, my wife and I talk about this all the time, right? Whether we want to go see, because I would love to go to a lot of shows, but we just haven't been out to see a lot of the shows recently. I'd love to go back to Madison Square Garden again. That was one of the best experiences I had in 2017, seeing a couple of the Baker's Dozen shows. So, well, I hope you have a good time in Philly. We'll be in Philly sometime in the next few weeks, so I hope you have a great time there. Again, let me know. Happy to answer anything, obviously within reason, but happy to answer anything in the comments. I've gotten through all my questions here too, so hopefully those that enjoyed the monthly Q&A, you'll see your answers here. But certainly, if you want me to restart that, I may restart that and do a monthly Q&A video, which was a lot of fun. I'm going to talk a little bit about some, but certainly any other questions that you have, let me know too. Since the Criterion sale is going on, I'm going to talk about a couple of other releases. I should say on the channel, my wife and I started to do, this was a few months ago, but we started to do My Wife Picks a Criterion. It was kind of a podcast style video, which sounds kind of weird, on YouTube, where we talked about a movie in depth. So she would pick a Criterion, and then we would sort of talk about it in some greater detail. And I think the podcast style videos were about an hour, which I think we would probably do. But let me know also if you want to hear more of those. I'm planning to, in the next year or so, probably go through my Criterions in a little bit more detail, talk in a little bit more detail. I don't usually review movies, but I want to talk in a little bit more detail. I did a couple of I did a series of videos on Tarkovsky, which I really enjoyed. So I'm thinking about maybe getting back to that. Yes, it was a year ago. I guess I can't keep track of time either. But Kevin, hello, and thanks for the congratulations. I really appreciate it. And it's really thanks to all of you. I really have said this earlier. I knew I was going to say this a lot on this live stream, but it's really all thanks to everyone here who's left comments, who's left a question, who's watched the videos. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about doing even more with the channel. So again, let me know if you have suggestions, because I'm happy to entertain those. But anyway, my wife and I were doing these videos, and so one of the ones we talked about, there's a series of videos on the channel, but we were talking about this Twin Peaks, which I'm a big fan of David Lynch, and so I really enjoy his artistic view on things, I suppose. Not everybody can get into Lynch. I think Lynch is also a mood type of thing. You really have to be in the mood for some very deep watching. But Firewalk with Me, of course, is the film after Twin Peaks, and I really like this film a lot. The other thing I noticed too about these is that Lynch really spends a lot of time participating in these, I believe, and there's interviews with him and things like that. And most of the releases are sort of these great digipacks, which are not, like the hard cases that I showed before. Like this is more of a hard case, but these are these great digipacks, and I probably can't get this out here, but anyway, you can see that. Let's see, there we go. So you can see there that it's got the, it's really well put together, I guess is what I want to say. And so Lynch has a bunch of these, of course, The Elephant Man, many of his movies, Eraserhead also, but this is really great. And my wife and I talked about it for about an hour in a podcast style video on YouTube. But let me know also if you'd like to hear more of those, because we were interested in maybe doing some more of those. And as far as Lynch goes too, since we're doing the sale too, I've talked about this movie so much, but The Art Life with David Lynch is one of my favorite documentaries, and I probably watch this movie at least twice a year, if not more, for whatever reason. It's very inspiring to me, this movie. And it really talks about his process, a little bit about his films, but more about himself as a person and what he does every day. And he's an artist. I mean, he's a visual artist as well. So this is really great. And as I mentioned too, I love to really explore directors. I love profiles on directors and artists and things like that. And this is one of my favorites. And there's another movie about Brian De Palma that I really enjoy. Also Sidney Lumet, many others. But this is great. If you haven't had a chance, if you're a Lynch fan, this is a must really for you to have. And let's see what else I have over here. Just some other new releases, I talked about a little bit about Flight of the Phoenix, but one of the ones that's very popular also is Double Indemnity. Again, I need to get to this, but I haven't opened it up yet. But this is something I need to see, and I may have seen parts of it on TCM. Anyone in the U.S. will recognize Turner Classic Movies, and I definitely catch a lot of movies there. That's the other thing too, just about my style of watching. Many times it's not physical media, but I will be watching a channel like Turner Classic Movies and really learn more about film noir or movies from the 20s or things like that, and really get into those things. And which happens to be now the case with Blake Edwards. So there's that one, and I just wanted to show a couple others here too. Shaft is a popular release that just came out too, and again, I may have seen parts of this movie. Talking about the 70s, this is from 1971. But everyone's looking forward to this. I love the artwork on this one. I love the color of it. So many times with the Criterion, again, I think they do such an amazing job with the artwork, as does Arrow and many other labels too. But let's see. And if you have any other questions too, let me know. I'm probably going to go for a little while longer, but certainly if you have any questions, let me know in the comments here too. But I love this movie, Lost in America. This is an Albert Brooks movie on the Criterion Collection. Love the artwork on that too. There's the back of that one. But this one also, highly recommend it. And this is just a funny road picture where Albert Brooks and his wife, Julie Haggerty, she's hilarious in this, decide to quit their jobs to buy a Winnebago and follow the easy rider fantasies of freedom in the open road. But really hilarious, and I just love Albert Brooks. I mean, I remember also when Albert Brooks used to do short films on Saturday Night Live, and so that's kind of where I started to become a fan of his. But really, really, really great. And this one has, anytime I can listen to a director talk about his work, also I will pick up a movie. And I'm such a big fan of extra features. This has a new conversation with Albert Brooks, which is great. So again, highly recommend this one. And my wife and I also talked about that in a video on the channel. And one of the other ones we talked about too, which is a beautiful film from Celine Sciamma, I believe. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that, but Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Really, really love this movie. Beautifully shot. Such a beautifully shot movie. This one's not, I don't think there's a 4K of this one, but it looks amazing in Blu-ray. And so we talked about this movie too. We talked about in great detail. Tried to be spoiler free if we could, but we talked about this in some detail. And way off topic too. I know I was talking earlier about TV shows that I'm watching. Many times TV shows will take up a lot of time. And so I don't, many times I don't have time or maybe the energy to watch a film or get into a really serious film, especially at the end of the workday. And so my wife and I will often watch like a 20-minute sitcom. So I was talking about MASH earlier, but the next show that we picked is the Bob Newhart show, the original Bob Newhart show, which is hilarious, which is I'm really connecting with. And we watch maybe 1 or 2 episodes a day, but it's kind of a great way to just escape for a little bit and watch a show that maybe we haven't seen before. Sometimes, as you probably know, these shows are not easy to find on streaming. And so I'm happy to have the physical media. At the end of the day, I'm really a physical media collector. And I just love my collection. I spend time near my collection every day. I have this little Criterion hallway, which I did a video about too, where I just stand by the shelf for some reason, just look at the titles, decide what I want to watch, all those types of things. So let me see if I don't think I had anything else here too. Maybe one other new release that I missed over here. Let's see. Double Indemnity. I think that's it. So if there's any final questions, let me know if there's any final questions. GA also, Bob Newhart is one of my favorite sitcom of the 70s. Absolutely. I'm really enjoying it. I think the thing I got it from this time too is that, Bob Newhart's known really for doing these comedy bits where he's on the phone and you can't hear the other person talking. And I guess I didn't realize it the first time I watched the show how much they incorporate that. A lot of times he's just on the phone, one-sided, and it's hilarious. You just have to imagine the conversation on the other side, and it's a really amazing comedy bit that he does. So we're just enjoying the show there too, and we're watching Westworld as I mentioned before, which I really like. We're on season 2 of that. Season 4 just started that. I regularly will get involved in a show on streaming, and then that takes up my whole week a lot of times. We're really excited about, my wife and I are really excited about Better Call Saul. I think that's one of the best shows on TV right now. We rewatched Better Call Saul from the beginning, as well as Breaking Bad. I know everybody talks about Breaking Bad, but I just love that show. But Better Call Saul, in many ways, is a better show. I just feel like the show has so many great characterizations and great writing, so many amazing things about it. And so the next, I think the second part of the final season starts tomorrow. So we're really excited about that. So we've been staying up watching that as it's happening real time, and really enjoying it. So I'm sure once the show is over, I'm going to rewatch the whole thing again and then go back to Breaking Bad. The whole thing kind of goes in a circle. So many times, as much as I love movies and would love to watch things, I end up watching a streaming show. A couple other shows while I'm thinking about it that I highly recommend. One we watched on Apple TV, and that was Severance, which is directed, I think, and created by Ben Stiller, and starring lots of great folks. A really, really creative, that's one of the most creative shows I think I've seen in many, many years. And so season 1 was just incredible. The other one I think that we liked is on HBO Max, and that would be Station 11. That's the other great show that I saw this year so far anyway. So many times shows like that will take up a lot of time. And so I don't often have time maybe to get to films that I want to see, but or maybe I'll put on a film that I think I might be interested in, and I'm just not in the mood for it. So I go back to the Pink Panther as an example, right? I said in the beginning, I've been watching so many Blake Edwards movies at this point. And then I start to study Blake Edwards as a director and as a man. I start to read more about him, his marriage to Julie Andrews, his interest in silent movies, which you can see a lot in the Pink Panther movies, slapstick and things like that, especially the later films. Let's see. So anyway, that takes up a lot of time in my viewing schedule. I would love to watch everything too. That's the thing. I mean, I think there's so many areas that I need to learn from and areas I need to explore. But that's what's exciting about watching movies and TV shows, right? I know I'm never going to be able to see everything, but Excelsior movie reviews. I purchased 11 Criterions so far in July. Wow, that's a lot. How many Criterions have you purchased? I did a video on this before. I think I'm up to 6 or 7, I think I purchased when I went to Barnes & Noble, but I'm planning to order some more. And then how many Criterions do I have in my collection? I'm over 350, I think, at this point. Now, I would love to have 1,100 or whatever they're up to at this point. I would love to. That's kind of a dream that I have. I would love to have all the Criterions, including Laserdisc, every format. I would love that. But I probably don't have room for it, and there's not enough hours in the day for all that. But I would love to have each one. I mean, if I could wish for anything, that would probably be it. I would expand I have this little hallway over here that has all my Criterions in it. I would probably expand that. I often think if I go to like a flea market or some kind of a sale also, and people are getting rid of their Criterion Laserdiscs, I would probably get those, even though I don't have a working Laserdisc player. But I remember I still have, in fact, this might be in a video also, but I still have some older Criterion Laserdiscs that I keep around, even though I can't play them. But I just love Criterion. But again, there's so many other labels I enjoy too. I mean, I hate to just be just a Criterion person, but it is one of my favorite labels, of course. GA Breakfast at Tiffany's. I need to give that a rewatch because I feel like lately I've seen this movie again many times, and for whatever reason, I love Jack Lemmon and Julie Andrews in That's Life. I feel like that's an underrated movie. Jack Lemmon's kind of going through a midlife crisis or later in life crisis. And I just think it's well written. I guess I can see the dynamic between Blake Edwards and Julie Andrews in that movie a little bit more. And for whatever reason, I really connect to it. Julie Andrews has got some, I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone that hasn't seen it, but it is on the Criterion Channel right now. They're doing a Blake Edwards feature on the Criterion Channel now, so you can see a lot of his movies. But Julie Andrews has she has an issue. she's a singer and she's having an issue with her throat, and so she has to get a biopsy on something in her throat. And so that's kind of the start of the movie. And then Jack Lemmon's going through his own sorts of things, but it's a lot about relationships and family and the dynamic of getting older. And I just really connect to it. I really enjoyed it. So that's, again, one of my favorites. And then, of course, the movie 10 is great. With Dudley Moore, I think that's another movie later on for Blake Edwards where he's exploring getting older, which I think is really interesting. So let's see, Excelsior movie reviews. Over 75. I mean, listen, this is the time of year where I really kind of save up to get as many Criterions as I can when they're 50% off. And I'm always looking for Criterion titles on Amazon if they're discounted, so that I can fill in some of the gaps in my collection. But anytime you collect films, I think is great. But Criterion is really, which I think they've openly said, film school in a box, really, for any of those titles. I totally agree. Daisuke Beppu has an insane Laserdisc collection, and if you haven't had a chance to check out Daisuke's channel, highly recommend it. This is one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and he has an amazing Criterion collection. I think he's got everything in every format, and he does many videos where he talks about that, and he talks about the differences between the labeling of the Criterions and things like that. I really love those videos, so you can check those out. But he's got I think he has everything, I believe. Chris, hello. Greeting to everyone from Edmonton. Welcome. I want to say, Chris, too, Chris leaves some comments on my videos, and I really enjoy those comments. They're so detailed. I read every comment, and I really appreciate it. I think you pretty much mentioned what you're watching, and I really enjoy that. I love hearing what other people are watching, and it really inspires me. The film community, like I said, on YouTube is amazing. And so, Chris, thanks for those, and welcome to you. Thanks for joining me today. Totally agree. Henry and Trooper Film Productions. I love Daisuke's channel. He's doing some amazing things there. So if you haven't checked out his channel, check it out. Go over there, subscribe to his channel for sure. Maddie, also Facebook memory. So today's the anniversary of your last Phish show from Syracuse. Wow. I was hoping that they were going to maybe come back to this area, a little bit closer to this area, but I don't think there's anything except for maybe Bethel Woods, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think they're coming close there, but that's still a couple hours away, I think. Let's see. Let's see. GA, the sold out Criterions go for up to $400. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that a little bit. I have a sealed copy of Nashville, which I know is worth something. But I love Nashville as a movie. I don't think I'm ever going to give that up. Excelsior movie reviews. What editing software do you use? My wife does, as I mentioned before. She does all the editing, which is amazing, and we're using Adobe Premiere, which we really like. I've been trying to do. Some of the videos are completely one take, unedited, or it could be multiple takes, but it's pretty much we're not doing a lot of editing other than adding the opening or the closing. But we're trying to do a little bit more of those. Here's Steve, by the way. Sorry, Steve. Excelsior movie reviews. Steve, hello. Yeah, we're using Adobe Premiere. We started with the free version. We started using Canva a little bit more. We were using iMovie in the beginning as well, and just on our iPhones. But we're still using iPhones. But you can really get started pretty simply if you're interested in, again, for anyone watching here too, if you're interested in starting a channel too, it's pretty easy to get started, I would say. Maddie, Toronto. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Toronto would be close as well. So we'll have to look forward to that. I mean, at some point I'd like to be able to go out to a concert. I just haven't been in quite a while. So for now, I'm pretty comfortable on the couch watching shows. And I've seen a couple of I think the Grateful Dead, or at least Dead and Company, are showing their first song of each of the sets. I watched those. And I mean, YouTube's a great place to see many, many things. Before I close here too, again, let me know if you have any final questions. Happy to answer anything. And let me know if you're watching this video later, or even, like I said, now, let me know if there's anything specific that you would like to see on the channel. And I would be happy to put that in my list of videos to make. We're hoping to do, when we did our Barnes & Noble video, we're hoping to do a little bit more out and about type videos. We might do more podcast style types of things where we get into sort of in-depth reviews on films. We might do that. But there's definitely going to be more haul videos, more collection videos. I think when we get closer to in the next couple of months, I'll redo my horror collection video and show new things that I've added there. But I've got a few collection videos up on the channel, Kino Lorber Collection, Warner Archive. I've been doing a director series as well, where I'm showing all of the films I have by specific directors, because that's how I happen to have my films arranged in some cases. My criterions I typically arrange by spine number, but everything else label-wise for Kino and for Warner Archive and Arrow, as an example, I keep in alphabetical order. And then I have different sections for maybe directors or genres. Steve is saying iMovie didn't work very well and has a glitch. I would agree there, and I think my wife said the same thing. I had a similar issue with the new iPhone, which is why we switched to Adobe. And then, once we started upgrading equipment, we found different issues, different compatibility issues, but we kind of worked through those. I'm hoping to shoot more videos too by the shelves. Many times I shoot a video sitting on the couch, kind of showing what I picked up, just because the lighting is good and the sound's pretty good there. But we're thinking about having another area where we can film more near the shelves. So if you're watching the channel, you can see some other things that are on the shelves, which is cool. Chris, I'm glad you brought this up. A video on the films of Adam Egoyan would be of interest. I love Adam Egoyan. I'm happy that Exotica is one of the films. I think it's the first film that's going to be part of the Criterion Collection. So happy that they've added his films there. I have a box set of Adam Egoyan. Big fan of that, of his movies. And I think there's still a feature on the Criterion channel for Egoyan. So if you have the Criterion channel, definitely check that out for sure. Eric says, I watched The Funeral by Juzo Itami. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Great film and great Criterion release. I recommend. Great. Now this is perfect. Again, I love the fact that I get recommendations. I haven't seen everything. I'm not an expert, but I love suggestions. I love exploring new things. I found so many favorites this way. So thanks, Eric, for that. And thanks again to everyone that's watching these videos for your suggestions. Please keep them coming. Michael says, I watched Memories of Murder last night and was not as blown away as most people. It didn't work for me. I haven't seen that one, but I know that I believe there's a Criterion release of that one. So again, any final questions that you have, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to start to wrap it up here a little bit. Again, I want to say thank you so much. A sincere thank you to everyone who watches this channel and comments and leaves questions. That was really the intention of the video today. The live video is really to say thank you for your support of my channel. I really appreciate it. And much more to come. I'm really excited about making videos. And so I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 videos out every week. If you have suggestions for new things, also let me know, as I mentioned before. But I really want to say this is, again, a video to say thanks to all of you who make the channel possible and who really keep me encouraged and inspired to go on. So with that, I think I'm going to close up and say thank you to everyone. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate all the questions. Steve, thanks so much. And hopefully we'll do more of these. If you want to see more live videos too, let me know. I'm planning to do, I usually do some videos live on Sunday. So I'm planning to do some more live videos on Sunday with a guest. So I've got one coming up in August. And I'll probably do some more as we get closer to the fall and Halloween season and things like that. So again, thanks so much. Hope you have an amazing Sunday. And as I say in my videos all the time, I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well. I'll talk to you soon.